Hopefully we get the Devin Haney rematch, and then whoever else wants it. You know, Teofimo Lopez, he's on my radar. A lot of people that everybody wants to see. That's what I want to fight, so it's going to be good.
Ryan Garcia, I mean, that fight has question marks. It's unfinished business. You know, we're on a clean playing field, even playing field. We know that I'm going to be victorious. There is no bad blood with Eddie. You know, if an opportunity comes this way, you know, where we can work together, then it will happen. If not, then, you know, I appreciate Eddie for everything that he's done for me. He put me, you know, in position. He gave me a chance in the beginning. And I couldn't appreciate him enough for that.
On Live, Ryan Garcia questioned Devin Haney about their possible rematch. On April 20, 2024, Garcia and Haney engaged in a much-anticipated bout at the Barclays Center. Garcia won by a majority vote, but the outcome was reversed to a no contest. The New York State Athletic Commission then suspended Garcia for a year after he tested positive for the prohibited substance. I still believe that Devin Haney can defeat Ryan Garcia. Oh, I don't fight that way. Don't stand directly in front of him. Do your best, and leave. That's how rematches work. You find out what you did wrong right away, and when the fight is over, you return, and you know you wrote those mistakes. I do think he will win the rematch. I believe we have discussed this several times. Both men should definitely have a rematch lately in a live fight, in my opinion. This fight is... Although Devin Haney said that he would want a rematch with Garcia, he required that Garcia submit to yearly random testing by the Volunteer Anti-Doping Organization before they could do so. In response, Haney underlined the need for a level and clean playing field. DW was chastised by Garcia, who said that he would never again utilize their services since it was immoral and that he would always retain his innocence. Given that the two fighters are still exchanging angry remarks on social media, the rematch's future is still up in the air. Garcia's comeback date is still uncertain because of his suspension and persistent wrist injury in April 2024, while Haney intends to return to the ring in March 2025. In the much-awaited bout between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, Garcia first won by majority decision. Victory had defeated Haney 3 times in the battle, but triumph didn't last long. Garcia was given a 1-year suspension, retroactive to the fight date, after testing positive for the prohibited drug Alsterine, which resulted in the battle being declared a no contest. Garcia also faced financial penalties, being the case he literally rode away from his entire fighting career, which resulted in the battle being declared a huge famous boxer. According to a letter from the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, Ryan Garcia tested positive for a performance-enhancing substance both the day before and the day of his unexpected victory over Devin Haney last month. Testing samples were taken before the fight, but the results weren't made public until after it happened. Tensions between Garcia and Haney increased after the controversy, and Haney stated that he was reluctant to consider a rematch because of the integrity of the sport has come under intense scrutiny following Ryan Garcia's failed drug test, casting a dark shadow over his career and future in the boxing ring. As the news spread, the ramifications for Garcia were immediate and severe, shaking not just his reputation but the trust placed in the fairness of the sport itself. Garcia, however, wasn't one to quietly accept the consequences. Instead, he took to social media to voice his frustrations and make his position clear. His message was simple yet defiant. "I'll never give him anything again." Referring to his rival Devin Haney, this statement, loaded with resentment and bitterness, sent shockwaves through the boxing community and added a new layer of drama to their already complicated relationship. Finally, Garcia's vow to sever ties with Haney fueled even more speculation about the future of their potential rivalry and whether their paths would ever cross again. In the aftermath, Garcia made a public appearance at the Von Davis vs. Frank Martin fight in Las Vegas, a move that further stoked the fire of public intrigue. The shirt he wore, emblazoned with the word rematch, seemed to be a deliberate and provocative gesture aimed at Davis, but it also seemed to reflect his broader intentions and state of mind in the wake of the controversy surrounding his failed test. While it could be interpreted as a playful hint at his future plans, the fact that Garcia had a long-standing history of tension with Davis added a layer of complexity to the situation. Fans and pundits alike were left to wonder, was this a challenge? Was it a message? And most importantly, would these two fighters, who each carry baggage from their previous encounters, ever step into the ring together for a highly anticipated bout? As the dust settled, the attention shifted back to Garcia's ongoing suspension, which was set to conclude in April 2025. While Garcia has expressed interest in fighting other opponents before potentially revisiting a rematch with Haney, his future remains uncertain. Meanwhile, Devin Haney has been vocal about his intentions to return to the ring in March 2025, although he has repeatedly downplayed the likelihood of a rematch with Garcia anytime soon. Haney's confidence in his own abilities hasn't been shaken by the failed test, but his plans for a rematch with Garcia are complicated by both the failed test and the legal battle that has followed. Garcia's recent encounter with Haney was intense, and while Garcia may have defeated him in the ring, it wasn't a victory achieved through performance-enhancing drugs. Instead, Garcia's victory was one that left a lasting impression, largely due to the brutal nature of the fight, with a particularly cold and bloody blow that stunned fans. However, the fallout has been far from straightforward. Haney has taken legal action against Garcia, suing him for assault and battery. This move has further intensified the drama surrounding their rivalry and has added another layer of complexity to the situation. The argument behind Haney's legal action is rooted in the belief that Garcia's use of performance-enhancing drugs, if proven, would have significantly damaged Haney's reputation and career. We know this for years, despite never disclosing whether there was a relationship with her or not that proven would have significantly damaged Haney's reputation and career. For Haney, the alleged steroid use not only impacts the integrity of the match, but also the image he has worked tirelessly to build in the sport. The boxing community has been largely silent on the possibility of a rematch between the two, with no major figures offering definitive commentary on whether or not they should face off again. But as both fighters move forward in their careers, fans are left to speculate on whether the dramatic and heated history between Garcia and Haney will ever culminate in another high-stakes showdown. Would Haney's legal claims and Garcia's suspension derail any chances of a future fight? Could Haney's training and skill lead to a knockout that would not only avenge his previous loss, but also give him the upper hand in their rivalry? Only time will tell, but one thing is for certain: the drama between these two fighters is far from over, and the possibility of a rematch continues to hang in the balance, waiting for the right moment to explode. The fact that Turki Ali, the head of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, named a rematch between Garcia and Haney as one of the top 5 bouts he hopes to see in 2025 shows how popular their rivalry is throughout the world. The rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney didn't start in the ring, since they were two of the best in the lightweight class and were often mentioned when talking about potential champions. Garcia, who is renowned for his quickness and charisma, contrasted strikingly with Haney's methodical, technical approach in the frenzied build-up to their first fight in 2024, which was fueled by trash talk and angry interactions. In late 2024, Devin Haney filed a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia, claiming fraud, battery, and breach of contract in connection with Garcia's positive PED test after their first fight. In response, Garcia said he would not entertain a rematch unless Haney dropped the lawsuit, emphasizing that the lawsuit must be dropped before any discussion of a rematch can take place. The clash of personalities made the fight one of the most anticipated of the year. De La Hoya Oscar, since Garcia dominated Haney in their first bout, Garcia's promoter has ruled out the need for a rematch. De La Hoya said, "I don't see any need for Ryan to fight Devin again."
Michelle Joy Phelps with Fight Hub TV, and I'm joined now with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar, it's good to see you here in London. Let's bring the missus in. You guys look really nice.
Thank you.
Feeling?
We feel great. She's a little cold, but we're okay.
It is a little chilly out here at the moment.
Ruin the outfit. You can't wear the jacket today. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you, Turki Al-Sheikh's #1 fight that he wants to make is going to be the rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. What do you make of that?
If Ryan Garcia wants it, then that's what he wants. But me personally, I see no need for it. Ryan Garcia destroyed him, and that's the bottom line. So I think we have to make the best fights possible. And there's fighters here like Teofimo. There's fighters here that we can match up Ryan with anyone and make a terrific event.
I was going to ask you, Teo's right here. Obviously, that was one of the fights I said I wanted to see the most in 2025. Conversations, possibly? I know that he's a little bit intertwined in something complicated at the moment, but obviously, if and should he be free later in the year, Maybe a fight between those two?
Yeah, absolutely. If they're the best at the moment, if that's what people want to see, we have to make it. I mean, look, I sound like a broken record here, but I was once a fighter, and I'm a promoter now, but I think like a fighter. I want to see the best fight the best.
Even though Garcia's victory was overturned and his suspension became the main focus of their rivalry, the post-fight drama surrounding Garcia's positive test overshadowed the fight. Garcia has vehemently denied knowingly ingesting any banned substances, claiming contamination in his supplements as the likely cause of the positive test. While this defense is not unusual in the world of professional sports, it hasn't done much to repair the damage to his reputation, and critics have pointed to the incident as a stain on his career. Garcia has maintained his composure in the face of disappointment from some of his fans. His social media presence has consisted of a combination of fight announcements, inspirational posts, and scathing comments directed at Haney and his rivals. His assertion that he won't give Haney another chance shows that Garcia sees the situation as one in which he still has control, and that a rematch offers him the chance to not only settle the score, but also to rebuild his legacy. Devin Haney, on the other hand, has adopted a more cautious and Haney's decision to explore other opponents first is also strategic. By avoiding Garcia, he distances himself from the controversy and concentrates on creating his own legacy. However, some critics claim that Haney is avoiding a rematch because he knows the first fight will be a rematch. Haney has taken a calculated approach by refusing to commit to a rematch, positioning himself as a fighter who prioritizes integrity and fairness in the sport in interviews. Garcia's supporters contend that his positive test was an honest error and that his performance in the ring justifies a rematch, citing the 3 knockdowns he recorded as proof of his superiority over Haney. Haney's supporters, on the other hand, view Garcia as a tainted competitor whose victory is nullified by his failed test, and they believe that Haney's refusal to entertain a rematch is a principled stand rather than an act. The stakes would be extremely high, with each fighter trying to prove a point. For Garcia, it would be about redemption and proving that he can defeat Haney without controversy. For Haney, it would be a chance to silence critics who think he got lucky with a no-contest ruling. From a technical standpoint, the rematch between Garcia and Haney would undoubtedly be a blockbuster event, both financially and in terms of viewership. The Garcia-Haney saga is not just a personal rivalry. It reflects broader issues in boxing. The controversy has reignited debates about testing protocols, the fairness of retroactive punishments, the role of social media in promoting fights, the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, and other issues. Haney, known for his boxing IQ, would likely focus on avoiding Garcia's power shots, while dictating the pace with his jab and movement. The use of social media by boxers like Garcia has changed the way boxing feuds are conducted. Trash talk and callouts no longer only occur at press conferences, but now take place in real time on platforms like Twitter and Instagram. This change has made boxing rivalries more accessible and engaging for fans, but it has also blurred the line between the two. Regulatory bodies have come under fire for inconsistent handling of positive test results. Cases like Garcia also highlight the need for clearer guidelines on supplement use and contamination. While the attention is still on a possible rematch, there are other options for both Garcia and Haney. Garcia's attendance at Javante Davis's fight indicates that he is considering a rematch with Tank. Their first fight was profitable, and a second bout would probably attract even more attention. Haney, on the other hand, has been connected to fights with Shakur Stevenson and Vasily Lomachenko, both of whom would give Haney the chance to further establish himself as a lightweight, elite boxing commentator. In contrast, some analysts think the rematch may never happen because of ongoing disputes and contractual disagreements. Garcia's decision to forego voluntary anti-doping association testing has been criticized for potentially impeding negotiations, even though both fighters have expressed interest in the fight. Adam Smith has pushed for a rematch, saying it should take place at an agreed weight to definitively settle the controversy. He responded to Haney's demands for a rematch by highlighting the necessity of addressing the lawsuit first. The contentious debate surrounding the possible rematch has drawn opinions from boxing's elite, including legends like Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Bernard Hopkins. Haney views the rematch as a priority for 2025, saying, "It's personal for me, and I want to set the record straight." Garcia, however, maintains that legal matters must be resolved before any discussions can proceed. Magnitude of the controversy, but also highlight its implications for the sport. Speaking on his podcast, Tyson advocated for the rematch, stating, "Ryan and Deva need to settle this in the ring. That's how champions prove themselves. Forget the legal stuff. Get in there and fight. Tyson's words resonated with fans who believe that the sport's essence lies in competition, not litigation. Yes, sir. Congratulations. Mayweather took a different stance, emphasizing the importance of upholding boxing's integrity. If there's any doubt about fairness, you can't just jump into a rematch. Both fighters need to be clean, disciplined, and professional. The next time you see Tyson, it should be for a rematch. Mayweather says that vigorously. She is an excellent lawyer, and there's no doubt both fighters need to be clean, disciplined, and ready for the world to believe in the outcome. A longtime advocate of boxing rivalries, Hopkins expressed frustration with the delays. This is the kind of fight that revives boxing's golden days, fans want to see closure. Ryan versus Devin II could be the fight of the year if it happens. Both Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney have shown growth as fighters since their controversial bout. This evolution has another layer of intrigue to the DVD hype and scenes. In order to watch Evolution Film 3.0 as it opens on Paramount Plus in the US literally this morning as the world celebrates someone, Garcia has used his downtime to work on strength and conditioning in preparation for a possible rematch since his suspension. Videos of his training sessions show that he prioritized endurance and defensive maneuvers, two areas in which he struggled in the first fight. Garcia's explosive speed and devastating left hook are still his most powerful weapons, and analysts have noted that his propensity to let his guard down has left him vulnerable. Haney, on the other hand, has continued to compete against elite opponents while staying sharp in the ring. His fights against Shakur Stevenson and George Kambosos Jr. demonstrated his improved footwork and adaptability. Haney's technical skill, jab accuracy, and ability to control the pace of a fight are his hallmarks. His durability and composure under pressure were demonstrated in the Garcia fight, where he recovered from multiple knockdowns. End quote. As with any fight, legal battles frequently complicate high-profile boxing rivalries, and Haney's lawsuit against Garcia is no exception. Critics claim that Haney lacks the knockout power to decisively finish opponents against a heavy hitter like Garcia. Instead, he must maximize his defensive capabilities and avoid trading punches. However, there are those who claim that you don't have knockout power, so what do you say to those people? The people who say I don't have... Haney's legal team has accused Garcia of willful misconduct by failing a test, which they claim compromised the integrity of their first fight. Garcia's team has responded, "Man, as long as I'm winning, I got this far without knockout power, _____. If I don't have knockout power, come show me. Then come walk through all these punches that I'm gonna give you, and then we'll see." The involvement of legal teams highlights the high stakes of modern boxing, where reputation and financial considerations weigh as heavily as physical performance. Garcia versus Haney's rematch would be a lucrative affair, likely bringing in millions in pay-per-view revenue and ticket sales. However, until the lawsuit is resolved, both fighters remain at an impasse, and promoters have expressed concern that ongoing litigation could delay the rematch indefinitely. Given the fighters' marketability and global fan bases, major brands are reportedly interested in sponsoring the event. The financial incentives put additional pressure on both fighters to settle their differences and move forward with the bout on social media. Promoters and networks are keen to take advantage of the rivalry, seeing it as a chance to increase boxing's popularity. Analysts estimate that a rematch could generate over $100 million in revenue. Has turned into a fan battleground, with hashtags like Garcia Haney 2 and Settle It in the Ring trending frequently. The disagreement among fans mirrors the larger discussion within the sport. Garcia's supporters contend that his first fight knockdowns demonstrate his superiority, dismissing the Pede controversy as a regrettable error and urging Haney to come out of hiding and accept the rematch. On the other hand, Haney supporters view Garcia as a tainted competitor whose victory was nullified by his positive test, and they applaud Haney's choice to put integrity first. The Garcia versus Haney saga raises important questions about the future of boxing. The controversy has reignited debates about the effectiveness and fairness of testing protocols, and calls for stricter regulations and transparency are becoming louder. The rivalry also highlights the power dynamics between fighters and their promoters. While fighters like Garcia and Haney have significant financial advantages, the passion of fans on both sides shows the emotional investment in this rivalry, raising the stakes for a rematch. Finally, the saga highlights the necessity for boxing to address its image issues. High profitable controversies can draw attention, but they also run the risk of alienating fans who want real competition. If legal disputes are resolved, Garcia and Haney could agree to a rematch in late 2025, which would provide fans closure and possibly redefine both fighters' careers. If negotiations stall, Garcia may turn to other opponents like Devin. The rivalry between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney remains one of boxing's most captivating narratives, combining athletic brilliance, personal animosity, and public controversy. While this would keep his career on track, it might leave the Haney rivalry unresolved. Similarly, Haney could pursue fights against Shakur Stevenson or Vasily Lomachenko, which would improve his resume but might not create the same excitement as a rematch with Garcia. Now, some are going to say that Shakur Stevenson is the blacker alive in retrospect. Leaving that to the political and racial issues, still Lomachenko, which would improve his resume and might not create the same excitement as a rematch with Garcia. But after their first fight in 2024, which saw Garcia knock Haney down 3 times before winning by decision, the fight was later overshadowed by Garcia's failed test, which led to the bout being declared a no contest. This development has since fueled animosity between the two fighters and sparked ongoing discussions about a potential rematch. Many people are unaware that you defeated Ryan Garcia in the amateurs. But what would happen now? I do believe Ryan has improved since the amateurs, but I don't feel like...
If that's the claim, and you put up a challenge for him to get back to the weight that he needs to, maybe double down on the weight to do the testing on them. But if that fight happens...
Oh, big fight, yeah.
It's going to be...
Big fight. It will happen, I believe.
How soon do you think it'll happen?
I mean, look, he's going to be banned till, what, May?
It's nothing.
So, Devin needs to fight, really. I said to him the other day, you know, that was a tough defeat physically. You could really do with a comeback fight of some respect, confidence, going through camp, because that was a beating.
You think he needs a fight before he goes with Ryan?
So. I would advise it.
To fight somebody before.
Just because when you get beat like that, it's a long time out of the ring. You're talking about over a year out of the ring anyway.